Hello again, Tactical YouTubers. I'm back for a third time. Fourth time, actually, today, I think. I've lost count already. Uh, and this is going to be another contest entry, this time for my good buddy, the Mediocre Pirate. He's having a 299 sub contest, and he's giving away one of his awesome neck lanyards, which I've been meaning to buy from him. And since he's giving them away, why not try to win one for free, right? So that, and I want to support his channel. He's got a great channel. I mean, he may only be a mediocre pirate, but he's above average YouTuber. So I really enjoy his channel. He has a lot of great info, and I've learned a lot of first aid kind of stuff from him. And and he was half the genius team behind the Wijidashi, which you've seen in some of my past videos. So. Got to support him for that. But his first question was, give me a first aid story and what you did and what you would have done differently, in hindsight. And I'm pretty injury prone, so I hurt myself a lot. So I didn't want to give one of those stories. I wanted to give a story of when I hurt somebody else. And I used to work at an apartment complex doing maintenance, and we were flipping a empty unit. When someone moved out, we would replace paint, replace all the sockets, all the receptacles and switches, and take up the carpet if it was bad and that kind of thing. And me and another maintenance man were the only ones in that wing. It was a close to 800 unit apartment complex, so we were quite a ways from the maintenance office. And it was just us two up in the apartment working, and I was ripping up the carpet. And I was using a utility knife, the typical box cutter kind of knife, and I was ripping the carpet into smaller strips so that it would be easier to get out rather than taking, a 10-foot piece of carpet out. I was cutting it into like 3 or 4 foot strips so we could take it out easier. And I was taking the knife and ripping it up the carpet, and then on my hands and knees ripping it up the carpet and then rolling it as I was ripping it. And my fellow maintenance man was talking to me from behind me, and I didn't realize that he was as close as he was. And as I was ripping that carpet, you had to get some force behind it to get it to come up all the way, and to bring the padding up with it. And I ripped real hard one time, and the knife come out behind me, and he was standing directly behind me. I had no idea he was that close, and I cut his shin about, a gash about like that on his shin with that knife, and it was bleeding everywhere, and I panicked, to be honest. Before I go on with this story, let me defend myself a little bit here. If I would have done it to myself, I would have stayed calm. I would have been okay. I've hurt myself quite a bit, and I've gotten pretty good at it. So they say practice makes perfect. So I'm getting close to perfect at hurting myself and taking care of it once I do. So if I would have hurt myself, it would have been no problem. I would have remained calm. If he would have cut his own leg, it would have been fine. I would have remained calm. But because I cut him, I felt horrible for it, and felt it was my fault, which it was. And so I panicked. And, oh my God, and it's bleeding everywhere. And we were quite a ways from the maintenance office, so the only thing we had there was, an old rag that we had been using. So I wrapped it up, me and him together wrapped it up, and I just wrapped duct tape around the towel, to keep it held together, so until we could hobble him back to the maintenance office to where we could get him some decent first aid and get him to the emergency room. So that was a bad day. I apologized 1,000 times during that day. He's like, "Oh, it's okay, it's all right." I'm like, "No, it's not. You got a 4-inch gash on your leg because of me." But it left a nice little scar. But ladies like scars, they say. So, so what would I have done differently? I would have had better supplies. After that, I actually started carrying a small, nothing big, but just a small store-bought first aid kit with us in my little tool bag in case something like that happened again. So, it was a good lesson. But anyway, that's my first aid story. The second question he asked was, what is your most used EDC item, in your normal EDC? Uh, for me, the obvious choice is my iPhone. Uh, you know, I don't know how people lived before they were able to, get on the internet on their smartphones, or talk and walk at the same time. I don't know how people done it. It's beyond me, but I can't do it. So the iPhone is my most important EDC item, but I think that's for a lot of people. So number two, thing I never leave the house with. You think knife, gun? No, it's a pen. Uh, I use a pen more than any other thing that I carry every day. Uh, and I wear a pen around the house because I'm always writing. So a pen and my iPhone are the two things that I feel most naked without. It's nothing fancy, it's not some knife or multi-tool or gun or anything like that, but those are the two things I feel most naked without and use most often, probably. So that's the answer to the second question. The third question is, if I had unlimited funds, what dream piece of EDC would I get? First off, I would get a custom 1911. I carry a Springfield 45 1911 A1, but I would get something custom. If right now I had $3,000 to blow, I would go buy a custom 1911. So that would be number one. Outside of a gun, I would probably buy a Sabenza. That's something that's been on the top of my list for a while now, and I keep moving other things in front of it for some reason. I'll go to a gun show and pick one up and just be on the verge of buying it, but somehow I talk myself out of it for some reason. So that would probably be right behind the 1911. But those are great questions. In fact, they're so great, I'm not going to say he stole, but he beat me to a couple of the questions that I was going to use on my next contest. So I've got to go back to the drawing board and come up with something else. But thanks for holding this contest. I really want one of those neck lanyards. They're freaking cool. I guess if I don't win, I'm going to have to end up buying one. But thanks for holding the contest. I hope you get more subs because of it, because you deserve them. You got a great channel. Some of the best content out there. So, if you aren't subbed to him, like I said, he may be a mediocre pirate, but he's a great YouTuber. So go, look at his channel. If you don't like it, don't sub. But you will like it, and you will sub. So, anyway, guys, 8 minutes in again. Not a short one, like I said it was going to be. But I guess that's it. So, Mediocre Pirate, thank you, sir, and the rest of y'all, be careful out there. Arrivederci.